want to talk to you about tonight is the worst example. And I don't like to pick on people. That's not what we're in business to do here. If I feel somebody's doing great harm to the country, obviously I'm going to go after them. But, you know, by and large, we go after movements and we go after elected people. And this person falls into that category. She's elected. But boy, oh boy, this is really something. Okay, so you heard a lot about the people who celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's been everywhere. But the worst, I think, it's almost a tie between Ocasio-Cortez, who I deal with on my broadcast in No Spin News, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. So she shows up on Friday on CNN, and of course, CNN, this is what they do. And I don't know why they do this, but each show runs a lineup, 5 or 6 guests throughout the hour. And they pick guests who they know what they're going to say. See, when I was doing Fox, I'd have 5 or 6 guests, and I knew what their point of view was, but I wanted a variety of points of view. It was boring just to have the same point of view for an hour. I wanted very, very smart people and to challenge me. That's not what CNN does. And again, why don't they do it? I don't know why. It's much more fun to watch, much more interesting. So they book people and they know what they're going to say, and they're not challenged. So Congresswoman Omar goes on with Caitlin Collins, a big-time liberal. I think she does a 10 o'clock show at CNN, and she wails on Charlie Kirk. Roll the tape.
There was a town hall that you had 6 days ago. You called Kirk a quote, hateful man, and you had reposted a video that I'm sure you've seen, you've taken criticism for. It's a video that called him a reprehensible human being and said, Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein and his monster shot him through the neck. Why repost that video?
Because there were a lot of things in the video that I did agree with. Obviously, we share videos. We don't have to agree with every single word. But I do believe he was a reprehensible, hateful man. Like, that is my view of the words that he has said about every single identity that I belong to. He didn't believe that we should have equal access to anything. He also just didn't even believe I could be smart enough. I could have thoughts that could be equal to a white man.
Now, right there, Ms. Collins should have jumped in and said, well, can you give me an example of that? Can you tell me what the quote was? Because we did this, again, on my program, No Spin News, with Ocasio-Cortez, who did pretty much the same thing, accused Mr. Kirk of being a heinous individual who was against blacks, and and all the things that she cited, AOC, weren't true. They were totally out of context. And it's easy to do that. When you're a guy like Charlie Kirk who's going, making speeches all over the country, you have a radio program. They did it to me on CNN. They tried to make me look like I was saying negative things about black women when I was actually complimenting Michelle Obama. They cut out all the complimenting and they cherry-picked one line that, wasn't even offensive, but to try, and they put me in this montage with all these other people that they say don't like blacks. And then my lawyer wrote a letter, what are you doing? We need a retraction. They said, blank you. Now, I could have sued them, but what's the point at this point in my life? I don't know. I don't know why they do this, but let's get back to Omar. So Omar, even if you believe that about Mr. Kirk, you wait until he's, it's all over. You're waiting for the funeral and the memorial service. You wait. You don't dance on the grave. That's what she's doing. And I don't understand it. I really don't get it. Because she's in a district, she was born in Mogadishu, Somalia. And I'm happy that she got to the United States because Somalia, whoa, very rough, okay? But this country took her in. And she had a very checkered social situation. I'm not going to get into it. She hates Israel. I'm not going to say she hates Jews. That wouldn't be fair, but she hates Israel. She attacks people almost every day. And, you know, everybody's this, that. Anybody she disagrees with is the devil, the demon. But I don't know what you can be, madam, a progressive, and you can believe that the United States is not a noble country, even though we accepted you, and I assume some of your family members. You got here, you got away from the jihad, you got away from the terrorism that dominates Somalia and has for 20 years. You got away, and you come here and you go, you know, you people, what the kids say, the word S-U-C-K, yeah, well, and then a political opponent arises, Charlie Kirk, and he's dead in a violent way, and people are grieving, and then you're calling him reprehensible human being, you know, hateful man, didn't believe I am smart enough to have thoughts equal to a white man, race, you know, making a racial thing. Why? Why? Is that what you think your district is? Is your district a cauldron of hatred? Is this what people in Minnesota want of you? Is that the kind of profile? I guess you get reelected. You know, let me see how many times she's been reelected. It's just amazed that people vote for people like this. So let's see. She has been in office since 16. Okay. Well, been reelected 5 times. 5 times. Cold and flu season coming on up. We all know it. And it really is nothing to take lightly. So when people start getting sick all across the country, medications disappear. Everybody wants it at the same time. So it's very, very smart to have a pharmacy you can count on, like All Family Pharmacy. Right now, they're helping Americans get ahead of the curve with 10% off antibiotics, antivirals, other essentials. You know how important it is to have the right meds when you get sick, particularly when your kids get sick. You don't want to be going into the doctor's office, spending all the time. You want to have them at your home. So if you have a few months' supply, you don't have to worry. And that's what we're doing here. If you believe in medical freedom, okay, and taking care of your family, as I do, this is the pharmacy for you. Please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10%. Now, her district is heavily Somalian. A lot of people don't know that Minnesota has a lot of Middle Eastern refugees and immigrants. Okay. But, boy, I don't understand what the purpose of this is, all right? That's what I don't get. So I know there are haters on both sides. Everybody knows that, okay? And most of the haters are cowards. They hide in their cellars and they do the thing on the internet and all of that. And it's an emotional disorder. That's what it is. But this woman is an elected official representing a district in Minnesota. So what are you trying to accomplish here by peddling the hatred? What? Do you want to incite people? Is that what you're trying to do? See, that's the question Caitlin Collins, instead of sitting there like a mummy, all right, going, why are you doing this? Why? And then there's a what about, well, you know, Trump does this. You got to expect that, okay, the what about. Because then that's a way to evade and dodge your question. But then you come back to the question. Can't you wait until the man has been memorialized before you do this? What is your ultimate goal in doing this? Right? Is that a logical question to you? Then we might know, does Omar have a social disorder? Does she hate people? Does she want them to be hurt? What is it? Why are you trafficking in this? I mean, you're intelligent enough not to. There are other ways. If you think the progressive movement is great, tell us what the progressive movement's going to do for America. Tell us what it has done. Point to some progressive successes. Gets a little murky there, doesn't it? Where's the progressive successes? Where? California? Chaos. Illinois? Dangerous. New York? falling apart. Where are the progressive successes? Cuba? Think that's successful? China, biggest police state in the world ever seen? I don't know where they are. I'd like to know. Give me some progressive stuff that's positive. No. We have to hate Charlie Kirk. Bothers me, and that's why I'm telling you about it. Because we have to stop this. And we can't stop it by saying she doesn't have the freedom to say it. We have to stop it by asking the questions I'm asking. And then voting her out of office. It's got to be, if it's a liberal district, it's got to be better liberals than her, right? Thank you for watching this YouTube bonus. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.